it just wouldn't work.
Do you think like your attitude towards it's changed now from being like 19 and probably showing up with a bit of a...
I thought I had, but then obviously my foot fell off.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Royal Hills end of last year, there was another 80-foot jump, and I didn't follow anyone off that.
Right.
But I think because it's Nico's, he has this certain like style of building that just seems to not upset your bike at all. So you just know exactly what you're going to get. So
interesting. All right.
Maybe it was just a confidence thing that I knew his jumps were fine. So
what would you say if you had to put why it has that?
I think they're just so mellow. You know, I've had this conversation with a lot of people that people don't realise that jumps need to change as your wheelbase gets longer. You know, like on a BMX, a curb feels quite a good jump, doesn't it? And the bigger the wheel size gets, the worse the curb feels. And then, like, if you want to jump a car, you need a lot more lip.
Yeah.
So then,
I don't know about jumping cars. I mean, it's your sort of area of expertise.
I mean, I've jumped a few cars. Yeah. But, you know, like a motocross bike needs a massive jump. A mountain bike...
like the transition?
Yeah. And a mountain bike ain't far off a motorbike, really.
Yeah.
When you're going that far. So you need a motocross jump. So people that build like little jumps with like little curves on them, and then they're like, I'm going to jump 50 foot off that, and you're like,
yeah,
good luck.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to ping you.
So you say Nico stuff's quite mellow.
I think he's just not afraid to spend 6 weeks piling up mud. Yeah. You know, like a lot of people trying to get on with it, and Nico's just like, no, the jump needs to be bigger. Like,
okay.
That's a lot of it, isn't it? When you look at stuff that you built when you're younger.
Yeah.
It's all just, it's not tight because you want it to be tight. It's because it's the limit of your, like...
the size of the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like the limit of your endurance,
Yeah.
your digging
Yeah.
endurance. It's like, oh, can I be bothered to put that extra 15 wheelbarrows on this lip, or should we just pack it down where it is?
Go back and watch some videos of Royal Hills, the jumps, and just pause when it's like a big wide bit and look how big a hole he's dug for the mud. He's like reduced the whole of Royal Hills down 10 foot and just put them into landings. It's insane.
Yeah.
You know, he's got like 14-ton diggers on hire, and it's him and a mate are just scraping the earth and making like the biggest pile of dirt you've seen.
You've had some big projects, haven't you? What was that grass field that you had?
Yeah, so that was with Speshi. You know, obviously everybody watched the Semlux videos, and you're like, that's what I want to do. I want to build my own track. So I managed to convince Speshi UK into it. At the time, they had a media guy.
Right.
So he basically took it under his wing, and I spoke to him, and he'd organise all the money and all that. And it was basically for the release of their triple clamp Kenevo.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So they wanted like a youth spin on it, if you know what I mean, because I don't know if you've seen the Kenevos out in the wild, but they're usually bold and they're usually called Barry. quite a demographic for them.
EMTV demographic.
Yeah, so they wanted a youth spin on it. So for some reason they let me do it. So I got one of my mates to come down and because I couldn't drive a digger at the time.
Okay.
And I just was trying to explain my ideas. He had some of his ideas. He'd dug motocross tracks before, so he knew what he was doing. Yeah. And I think we had a 4-ton digger and a 15-ton digger. And he just went ham in this field for 2 weeks. We built, and then I think X Games was on at the time when we watched the Moto X quarter. Yeah. And then he spent 4 days building a quarter with a 15-ton digger. You know, like it was literally like two children in front of the TV, like, we could make that. And then it was like, we could make that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like Colby Raha, just special.
And you're like, I'm going to go so high. And you're like, yeah, 10 foot out the top, sit.
What an episode. You did really well, though.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah. Do you know what would finish it off?
What?
If you could put some sort of link over my face.
Yeah, I can do that. I could put a video up on Ollie's face of an episode we think you'll love.
Is it on now?
There is a subscribe button here on this chair, and on my face, another video we think you'll love. Thank you. We appreciate you.
There's nothing in the chair now. Subscribe.